also a student who typically represents the graduating class. The valedictorian should be able to walk up to any group at recess and slide into a conversation without missing a beat. The student I would like to talk about tonight is a strong academic student. She's a hard worker who always puts forth her best effort. She is eager and energetic with a fabulously positive attitude in the classroom. She is also a hard-working athlete. She was a dedicated member of the intermediate girls basketball and volleyball teams. But I think this student's strongest trait has to be in her incredibly outgoing personality. She always has a smile on her face and is quick with a "Good morning, Mrs. Bushback." She bounces into the room every morning and remains upbeat all day. She is polite and friendly to everyone and always right there, willing to lend a hand or offer a shoulder to cry on. I've had the pleasure of watching this goofy grade 7 girl grow into an incredible young lady over the past 2 years. I am truly honored to announce the valedictorian for the graduating class of 2011, Miss Julia Penny.
Welcome graduates, parents, friends, and teachers. On behalf of all the graduating class, I'd like to thank you for coming and supporting us. Parents, you're probably thinking that the last 10 years have flown by. Well, to give you a ballpark just how long it's been since we started school, it's been approximately 3,650 days, or the week before 9/11. And we finish just as we get a majority government. I can say that my intermediate years have definitely been my favorite. Whether it was talking about flirting in science with Ms. Bushback, watching X-Men and French with Ms. Mason, or maybe just talking about random stuff in science with Mr. B. I definitely love those out-of-context tips, like if you ever happen to go on Wheel of Fortune, definitely buy the vowel E. It's the most used letter in our language. The teachers at the school are so awesome. Last year, all the grade 7 classes went to a lovely sports camp. We were there for an amazingly fun-filled 3 days, full of ziplining, kayaking, rock climbing, and so many more challenging things. One of the highlights was the bonfire and the games, learning new songs that will stick with us forever, playing creative games, like the Moo game. Remember, Jessie? Yeah! where whoever moved the loudest got a prize. That was entertaining. Yeah. The experience for us all was the cabins, having to sleep on old bunk beds with 23 other people in the room. We will always remember where we conquered our fear of heights or swam in a freezing cold lake. We definitely learned a lot from crazy experiences. Hopefully, Quebec will be just as memorable, if not more. In the winter months of school, we had a chance to participate in electives. Whether it was tobogganing at High School Hill, having lunch at Boston Pizza, or maybe it was ironing cars, they were all fun. The awesome thing about Cawker is the opportunities it gives students. Maybe it's being on sports teams that are best in the province, or being in bands or choirs that get invited to an all-of-Canada performance. Or maybe it's participating in math contests that are formed from the University of Waterloo. Cawker definitely has a crazy amount of opportunities. Then there's the play, the Return of the Glass Slipper, the Rocking Tail, and Snow White. They were all enjoyable to create and perform. This past year, we had the Rocking Tail of Snow White. With help from teachers, parents, and volunteers, it was a smashing success. But you can never forget how the play wouldn't happen without the participation of students, especially grade 8s. With lead roles, grade 8 students had the biggest shoes to fill, and did an amazing job at it. The play was awesome. Now, you might know how stellar our sports teams are at Cawker. With coaches like Mr. O, Mr. Wrigley, Mr. Hoot, Ms. Marquis, Ms. Reed, and Ms. Bushback, nothing can go wrong. One coach that I got to know was Mr. Coot. You're such an amazing coach and teacher. Thank you so much. Being on the volleyball team, we got to see a different side of Mr. Coot. No, sometimes it wasn't pretty. But at the end of the day, we had a good time and did our best. We were all friends. The past 2 years haven't just been about fun. No, we had to do some work. That includes those big projects. They were exhilarating, but could be excruciating. Like catapults, where we had to design, create, and perfect our very own catapult. Or maybe it was dog houses, where we had to figure out how to insulate, keep it dry, and still make it look good. That was difficult. But the one that sticks out in my mind is the river sample project. This involved lots of time evaporating water, taking apart clumps of dirt, observing, and a lot of writing. In this assignment, we had to figure out what pollutants were in the water. These different assignments showed us what we might have to do in some jobs in the future for an environmentalist, an architect, or an engineer. It gave us a small-scale sample of the real world. As I finish, I want to leave you graduates with these words. We may be closing one chapter of our life, but we're opening another. We may be hatching into the eagle's nest and becoming rebels, but we'll always know that we'll find home at Cawker. No matter how bumpy or smooth the road ahead is, we'll always have an amazing place with amazing people to come back to. Tonight is definitely another page in our Book of Awesome. Thank you.